Creatine is a popular supplement used by athletes to enhance muscle building and athletic performance. Research indicates that many athletes, including powerlifters, boxers, and weightlifters, use creatine. When you take creatine, your body primarily produces it from amino acids, glycine, methionine, and arginine. A 70 kilogram or 155 pound man with an average physique naturally stores about 120 grams of creatine in his body, with 90 to 95% of it in muscle cells. Creatine provides benefits for energy production and athletic performance. While your body produces about 1 to 2 grams of creatine per day, you can also get more creatine from food or supplements, particularly red meat and fish. However, vegetarians and vegans may have lower levels of creatine in their bodies. This can have a negative effect on their athletic performance, but it's unlikely to cause a deficiency. On the other hand, consuming excess creatine through either food or supplementation leads to enhanced energy production, which is the most significant impact on the body. Muscle contractions require energy, and this energy is generated through the breakdown of adenosine triphosphate, ATP. However, the amount of ATP found within a muscle is typically so low that it only generates energy for a fraction of a second. When ATP breaks down into ADP, it can no longer be used for energy. To recycle this byproduct, your body uses a phosphate molecule, and this is where creatine comes into play. Creatine is turned into creatine phosphate, which serves as the phosphate donor for the replenishment of ATP. This provides a buffer against muscle fatigue, assists with the energy production process, and enables muscles to produce more energy for longer periods with less fatigue. This mechanism is why creatine is so effective at increasing athletic performance and power output. In fact, studies have shown that short-term creatine supplementation leads to significant improvements in maximal power, strength, muscle contractions, and sprinting performance. The increase in weightlifting performance was found to be 14% higher in the creatine group than in the placebo group. These results are impressive, and athletes can expect to see this kind of boost in exercise performance relatively quickly, particularly if they use a loading phase. When you take creatine, it helps to fill your muscle creatine stores faster. As your creatine stores increase, you also tend to retain more water within your muscle cells. This happens because creatine draws water into your muscles, though the exact mechanism is not fully understood. While this may cause an increase in body weight, the additional water retention is actually beneficial for muscle growth. Improved muscle cellular hydration increases pressure against cell membranes and cytoskeletons, which triggers anabolic signaling and leads to a more favorable protein turnover rate. This means that increased cellular hydration or increased water retention may be one way that creatine supplementation stimulates muscle growth. Additionally, retaining more water in your muscles gives them a fuller appearance, making you appear more muscular. Research indicates that supplementing with creatine can increase muscle cross-sectional area for a variety of individuals, including sedentary individuals, recreational, and elite athletes, and even the elderly. The effects on gaining muscle mass are noteworthy, with studies showing significant results. For instance, in a 6-week strength training study, men who supplemented with creatine gained an average of 2 more kilograms of muscle compared to those who received a placebo. While it's challenging to attribute this muscle growth solely to increased cellular hydration, creatine undeniably aids in building more muscle mass. In addition to this, most people are unaware that creatine also benefits cognitive function. Despite the common association of creatine with unintelligent meatheads, the brain also requires phosphocreatine and ATP for optimal function. Studies conducted by scientists from the University of Sydney demonstrated that creatine supplementation had a measurable and significant impact on cognitive performance, enhancing brain power. For instance, the ability to remember long numbers increased by a remarkable 20%, from an average of 7 to 8.5 digits. However, it is worth mentioning that the participants in this study were vegetarian, which could have amplified the impact of creatine supplementation compared to those who regularly consumed meat and obtained creatine from their diet. Despite the potential negative effects of taking excessive amounts of creatine, it's important to note that creatine is crucial for optimal brain function. Individuals with a rare genetic condition that prevents natural creatine production can experience severe cognitive issues, including autism. However, it's important to consider the potential side effects of creatine supplementation. One common concern is the possibility of hair loss, as a study found that creatine supplementation increased levels of DHT, the primary androgen associated with male pattern baldness. Although creatine alone is unlikely to cause hair loss, it can't be completely ruled out without further research. While some studies have shown a significant increase in testosterone levels with creatine supplementation, the majority of studies found no effect on testosterone. Therefore, it's unlikely that creatine alone will cause hair loss. However, those with a family history of hair loss should still be cautious and consider potential risks before supplementing with creatine. Apart from the potential side effect of hair loss, the most commonly reported adverse effect of creatine is related to digestion, which may cause cramping, nausea, stomach pain, or diarrhea. These digestive issues typically occur during the loading phase, where a higher dose of creatine is taken to replenish muscle stores quickly. However, it's not necessary to follow this loading phase, as muscle creatine stores can be filled by taking 5 grams of creatine for around 4 weeks. Moreover, dehydration has been reported as a possible side effect of creatine, particularly if adequate water intake is not maintained. It's important to drink enough water while taking creatine, especially during the loading phase, which can increase strength, power, and body weight more quickly for athletes who need a quick boost. Finally, after stopping creatine, it may take around 4 to 6 weeks for muscle creatine stores to return to their normal baseline levels as the body continues to hold more creatine.